Hello and welcome to another game of Counter-Strike, another 10 men played by my friends in a lobby, and we're just getting into the knife round on Inferno. Unlike usual, this time I am actually joined by another, I'm going to tentatively call him a co-caster, even though he's really just here to shit on people. It's Mr. Oliver Foulds. He will be providing his incredible insight at when and where he deems it necessary.
Yes.
Wonderful. I'm glad I went to the effort of really giving you an intro to make use of. We do see the CTs come out on top of the knife round, and we'll see if they decide to stay or switch. It looks like they're going to stay as we get into the first pistol round.
Yes.
Now, Inferno is a home map for a couple of these players. Standouts for big Inferno players that you might want to look out for this game. Masher Biceps on the CT side and Maddie QP on the T side, both pretty... Hey man, they're decent players, and they both enjoy a good Inferno. Who's not enjoying this match though is George, as he takes a really aggressive duel down the middle lane and loses it to Geobreaker, giving the T-side the first footing into the round, but Chris answers back on the other side of the map with a swift headshot onto Maddie QP. Jeremy then trades it out, leaving the T-side still with a man advantage, but split across the full map. We'll see where they decide to concentrate their force. They certainly shouldn't go alone, and that's what Jennifer just does. Peeks on her own into the waiting arms of Masher Biceps, who's now challenged by two. This is better. See how much harder it is for her to pick up both kills. Does get one, but is immediately traded out. But thanks to that overpeak from Jennifer, they've now been put into a 2v2, lost the man advantage, and we'll see if they can hold on to the bomb as the CTs attempt the retake from the arch position. The CTs find the first one, so it's all on Mando now, playing a jiggle spot, but it's not enough. Chris takes his head off, and the CTs will get the first defuse and the pistol.
Why is the bomb so easy to defuse?
I mean, it takes 5 seconds, and even to do that, you have to buy a fair bit. You know?
Don't know. Just seems a bit pointless having a bomb that's so easy to
By
defuse.
the same token, it's quite pointless to not, arm the bomb beforehand and just strap it to yourself and run in. You know? Why don't they arm it in now and then just run with it? Exactly. I think these I just think the terrorists aren't very competent. I think that's the answer to it all. Like they're really, they got their bomb at Aldi.
I enjoyed your prediction of Matty QP and Masha, who died immediately as well.
Hey, Masha picked up a double kill in that round. We'll see if she can continue that run of form going to this round. Will be challenged on the app's position. Will not, as Jeremy claims first blood in the round. There's this thing you might notice. Every time I make any kind of prediction or statement, they will go out of their way to do exactly the opposite. As Maddie just gets domed in by George as he tries to get a clean peek down mid, and we'll see if they can get even more. This time, different scout player. They seem to be switching, taking turns at the angle. He's going to go again now. Maybe. Ooh, Geobreaker looks away, but pre-whiffs the shot, and Geo is able to convert into a kill. With the low HP on two of the CTs, there's every possibility that this UMP can steal away a couple of lives. But this seems to be a bit of a mistake on Geobreaker's part. He has found one, but he's left his teammate isolated on the B site, when they could have just pinched onto the site from two directions and had a much easier time of it, then played retake. As it is, his teammate just doesn't know that this CT is there. Or maybe he does as he baits him out. As Chris falls for the bait, but does get killed by George, who now holds an angle on the bomb, waiting for Geobreaker to peek into him. He makes a lot of noise. George knows exactly where he is right now, but he decides to plant the bomb in the blind spot, forcing a bit of a push from George to be able to actually punish this. Both on low HP. This could go for either of them, and George wins the gunfight. Geobreaker completely cocks up his flash. Had it worked, that would have been a pretty good play. But instead, he just stared at the ground and flashed himself.
I'd use a gun next time, probably.
I mean, he was planning on using a gun. He just hadn't gotten around to that step of the plan yet.
It seemed to be more like a friendly handshake, but
That didn't look very friendly to me. One of them killed the other one. I'm sure, however, we will see a few friendly handshakes attempted, and by that I mean the Birmingham handshake, which leaves one person bloody. We'll see when somebody decides to go for one of them. As the T's decide to not rush anywhere, they just decide to sort of run up into a bunch of exposed positions and stand there waiting for death, which is a mood, isn't it?
Yeah, good fun. Really good fun.
Really good fun. Very, very fitting with the current time. I think a lot of people can relate to just wanting someone to peek out and shoot them.
Dark jokes.
Well, you know, you're here. You're going to reduce the quality, or at least you're going to make the content significantly darker.
Yeah, reduce the quality. What are you chatting?
Well, you know what? We'll see if Jennifer can pull out anything of quality in this round, as they now know where she is. Can't. Just gets head taken off by I think that was a P2000 actually. Not even a
Nice to
P250.
see your Inferno legend Matty QP's doing well. 1 kill and 3
Hey, it's been 4 rounds in. He's had
cutting edge punditry by Andrew.
He's had a terrible buy for most of those rounds. Now he's got an AK out. He's got a full set utility. We'll see if he can make anything happen.
He couldn't hit a barn door.
Well, it's hard to hit something that isn't on the map.
I'm pretty sure there's a barn door on this map.
There is not a barn door on this map. There are some doors. They're not connected to barns.
From my extensive time playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
Do you even have 10 hours in this game?
I'm incredible at this game, so you know. Just...
Okay, yeah, you didn't answer the question. Do you even have 10 hours? You're Silver Elite Deagle.
Yeah.
McDaddy pushed off the angle by merely the visage of Jennifer as George repeaks to claim the kill. Doesn't quite see Matt peeking. But we have action on the other side of the map as well. This seems to be a consistent theme for the T side. And oh, what a play from Matt. Just finds the right angle. Doesn't manage to confirm both kills, but will in the end, after taking a little bit of extra damage, and then gets trading out by George. But this puts Chris on his own in a 1v2 on the opposite side of the map. Has found the first kill, but is trapped in church, allowing them to get a free bomb plant. And now Mando has to go nuclear in order to try and clutch out this round, pushing into Chris, but he is holding the angle, and Chris will trade it out. If there wasn't even a trade, it was just a kill. But you see, I told you, Maddie's one to watch.
He shot a man behind his back. I mean,
you shot 2.
Low, really.
You shot 2.
Yeah,
which is good.
I'm not that impressed.
I have no idea why the CTs were stacked up like that. They was just sort of lemminging out. That's not really a word, is it?
No, not
Standing
really.
like lemmings is what I think I was going for.
I've been really impressed by who has the least amount of kills.
There's a few of them.
Jennifer Jewin something or other, who's currently sat AFK. Yeah, you've been good. Well done.
Oh. You know what? It's the opening of a map. Everyone takes a bit of time. Sometimes needs a bit of time to warm into the game and find their confidence. We're hoping the T side are going to find their confidence in this round. They have a full buy, and they're not stupidly taking fights on both sides of the map at once without utility. So maybe they'll be able to actually convert it through. Hopefully Matt asks for a flash for this position, but no, he's going to peek it dry. Does he suspect Masher on the corner? Looks like he doesn't, as George is playing the close angle and manages to kill the mid player, as Masher then just kills Matt, who clearly was expecting it actually. Does molly out the position, but doesn't win the aim duel. George holding that apps angle. Jeff may not be expecting McDaddy on the balcony. He seems to think he's Pitt. Auto director swapped away. That's something else, actually. I'm not controlling the camera. I'm letting the auto director do it, which has shown us a nice little kill onto Jeremy's back there. But sometimes it just decides to stare at nothing at all happening. And hey, I said Matt and Masher were people to watch, and look at that. That's a 4K from Masher into that round.
Matt's dead, so...
Yes, but we were watching the other.
You can't really watch dead people.
You absolutely can. That's what the auto director has made me do that many times.
I'm still really impressed with Jennifer's 1 kill. I thought it was pretty clinical.
Not the only person in the game on 1 kill.
No, but Jennifer's was particularly good, so I'm going to stick with that one as my MVP so far.
Wonderful. Do you have any commentary on that?
Really enthralling gameplay.
You know what? Speaking of enthralling, that nade was... I don't have a good synonym here, but that nade was good. It gets a lot of damage onto the T side and slows down the rush. They do find the opening kill, but it's traded back, and Pre picks up a second on the defense. And the T-side haven't actually made a grab at the territory that their entry fragger was able to collect, so they might be locked out of the side a little bit more. Maddie QP sneaking up close, isn't able to finish pre-off as he collects a 4th kill in the round, doesn't actually get the ace as George decides to steal it away with the AWP. Not a great rush. Not a great rush. A little bit, considering how much they invested into that round, they kind of just all got killed instantly.
It's a matchy 100 meters for all those that have witnessed that.
I'm glad that will make sense to probably nobody who watches this. Or me. I don't know what that means.
22 seconds, let's just put it out.
22 seconds. That's Olympic, man.
Olympic.
Oh, there we go. The T-side starting to find their mojo, finding that instant kill onto George down middle. And George is a big player for the CT side. They play around him a fair amount.
I thought Masha was.
Hey, that was somebody who's familiar with Inferno, a person to watch. These people already know to watch George, but apparently...
Look, there's Matt, familiar with Inferno, once again dead.
Hey, I've been right on at least one of those calls. Masha has been someone to watch, as she finds a 2nd kill in the round, but is traded out by Jeremy as Geobreaker. Actually, bringing out the AWP has a headshot. And they finally have a man advantage. They finally have a man advantage in a retake situation, though it's immediately given away by Mando onto the long play, but recovered by a little bit of a trade from Jeremy as Geobreaker decides to just shoot at nothing with the AWP for a little bit. Established dominance, I think, is what we call it. That flash...
We all love establishing dominance.
That flash doesn't really do anything because nobody's peeking with it. Now he's peeking. Now there isn't a flash and he's got a nade in hand. We'll see if they... What? Okay, he's just mollying the bomb to then run away. Chris will also likely just piss off. And we finally see the T-side chalk one up. Hopefully we see a couple more, because I'd rather not watch another blowout.
Blowouts are always dodgy.
They're not dodgy, they're just quite depressing to watch, aren't they?
I don't know, it depends whether you're the bird or the bloke, to be honest.
I knew you were going to go there. I tried. I gave you an option. I gave you the option of abandoning ship, but you wouldn't do that, would you?
Nope.
And you know who else isn't going to abandon? It's this T-side, who are going to mount yet another round. And they're going to play this one a little bit more carefully, taking their time. And that's nice. You see, they took their time and it yielded a kill onto the mid and a second one, as Apps decides to get a little too aggressive and is found by a player holding back T-Apps, giving them not simply a man advantage in the round, but now 2. So hopefully the T-side decide to take some time, collect their forces, and hit, play as a unit to try and secure this round. If they hit this B site with all 5 players, there's only 1 left, and it would be a remarkable feat for Chris to hold on to this site all alone, or even just to buy enough time for his teammates to rotate in. Isn't managing to hit the head onto Maddie, but a team kill might swing things more in their favour. But Jennifer clears Chris out, finally moving off that 1 kill. Finally getting off of that 1 kill and losing your MVP vote, I would hope.
Nope.
Still MVP for you?
Yeah, Jennifer.
What does MVP stand for? Most vulnerable player in your book?
No, most valued.
Most valued.
Kills are of value. She has 2 of them. Most valued player.
Very reasonable. Very, yes. Okay. Oh, I knew this was gonna be an interesting. I like this. I think it's a nice atmosphere, though. It's not just me talking. You're there to
check out the odd comment once in a while.
Give me a moment to catch my breath and collect my thoughts. You know.
I'm currently applying for another job at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not bad.
We'll be seeing if Matt decides to apply for another position, possibly in danger of losing his title of Inferno Specialist.
I didn't even know he had it in the first place.
I gave it to him at the start of the cast.
Yeah.
But now I'm wondering if you've made a good point. He's not really shown up so far. If we look, he is only 1 kill above your MVP. You what?
Give it to Jennifer instead.
The title of Infernal is, you know what? If she can impress, we'll take it under advisement.
Already been impressive.
Already been very impressive, but it takes more than just a bit of impressive play to earn a title like that. You know, and Masha once again playing that same angle, and it goes exactly the same way. Gets mollied out and then finds a double kill because nobody can apparently shoot her. She's too short.
How big are Masha's biceps? That is the question.
Well, I mean, by the looks of it, huge. I mean, you can see the profile picture.
Good selfie, that is.
Yeah, it is. It's a great selfie. I mean, if you're advertising them on your profile, they got to be at least significant, you know. Maybe even, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see if Mando can say they know where he is. Okay, he gets the cheeky little no scope before getting killed, but I don't think they were expecting that.
The terrorists are shite.
Well,
at least I don't think they've sort of got the way that this game works. Like, I've been watching this game for a while now, and I've sort of worked out that the key's to kill the other team. They don't seem to have learned how to do that yet.
What are they doing instead in your book? Offering them a cup of tea?
Just running around like headless chickens.
Well, there are a few chickens on this map. Maybe they're just trying to blend in, play the long con.
But they're more used than the fucking terrorists, from what I can tell.
Well, okay. That was brutal. That was pretty brutal. Orpshot gets baited by the jiggle peak straight into a kill, and then Masha with the flasher into mid. I'll never say that again. I'm so sorry.
That was horrible.
You know, sometimes things just pop into your head. I mean, you're very well aware of that one. Things just pop into your head, and you say them, even though deep down you know you're going to regret it. That is your area of expertise, Mr. Foulds. Speaking of regret and foolish comments.
Never a foolish comment in me.
No, you know. Well, let's agree to disagree on that one. Massive gap in the smoke, doesn't actually get punished, with Geobreaker standing on the top of coffins, isn't expected, so he gets the off angle onto Pre, bringing this down into a 2v2, and therefore quite winnable for the T's. But looks like Jennifer might get cleared immediately, with Masha taking the first kill, leaving Jeff in a 1v1. But they just line up!
Jennifer played the key role there.
I did, baited them into standing next to each other on the edge of a smoke, so Geobreaker can just blow them both up.
Fucking hell, the terrorists have won a round. Like
they've won 3, in fact.
Oof.
They've won 3, and that's finally broken the CT side economy. They're going to have to buy pistols into this round, and while not all of the T side appear to be here at the moment, we should hopefully see them convert into a 4th round without a huge amount of difficulty, unless somebody on this side goes absolutely mental as George and Masha both chime in with instant deagle headshots at the start of the round. This might actually go south for the T side, and that would be absolutely criminal, as Mac Daddy finds a 3rd as well. Now it's just Maddie QP trying to stem the bleeding. They kill George, but now it's 2v4. 3v1 now, as Geobreaker does finally find a headshot, but the CTs are just swarming. Those were just some excellent shots coming out at the start of the round to really turn what should have been a toothless bye of deagles into a round, and that's going to be very demoralising for the T side, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty depressing shit.
Thank you for the analysis. We'll come back to you in a moment with your exclusive I mean, what do you think about that? Descent in the ranks.
Self-harm's always bad.
That wasn't self-harm, that was harm to his teammate.
Same thing, really,
yeah. I mean, one can make that argument for sure. That's a remarkably positive message coming from you, though. As we see Masha claiming another kill. 2, in fact, down that mid. Yes, it's against pistols, but having the confidence to just stand in the middle of mid in a completely exposed angle where you can be very easily shot. I mean, normally I'd say it was foolishness. However, it seems to be working.
Some X-rated shit going on down this mid.
That is 4 kills for Masha. Hopefully finding, well, doesn't need to find her mojo. She clearly already has possession of it.
I think she's being carried, to be honest.
I mean, you could make that argument.
McDaddy has put in a big shift for the CTs. So.
Hey, sometimes you just don't need to frag. That's what I tell myself when I queue, because your team is just already popping. You know, it's a skill to let yourself get carried. That's how I've had to tell myself all these years. You know.
I still can't believe Mark Zuckerberg's playing.
Well, he's not doing a great job, but
he's doing a good job.
I guess he's quite distracted trying to manage all of Facebook on the side. You know.
That's a shit joke. What's the chance you're getting away with that?
Well, that's the other reason I brought you. You are the arbiter of all jokes. George has decided to not take this game seriously and play catch with his P250, but it doesn't seem to want to play with him.
Not the first time.
I'm not completely sure what that even means. And the T-side, are they even going to be able to punish it? Are they expecting the rifle? That they aren't, but they still get the spray. And can they clear George out? A little bit of a messy Glock train, but does eventually result in a couple of kills for Matty QP. Finally coming online in this game with his most deadly weapon, the Scout. And we'll see if he manages to actually pick up a few more kills. Gets a nice little headshot there. See, he's starting to come online. And can he get
as deadly as my fucking dog?
Well, then you must have quite a terrifying dog.
I've got a black cocker spaniel. I can tell you right now, she's not deadly whatsoever.
That's what you think.
She beat you in a fight, though.
I would beat you in a fight. So what does that say? You know. Where does that put you on the totem pole?
I don't know. The poll was rigged.
Well, we'll have to ask. You know what? That joke was too bad. I'm just gonna abort. I'm just gonna abort before I even finish it. I've lost a bit of track on this game, but I don't think a huge amount's happening in those rounds. I think that looked like a pretty mixed buy.
There's nothing happening.
Nothing happening. Well, maybe it'll liven up now as Matt makes a charge down mid towards Mexico. Hopefully the T's make it out of mid this time. But that looks to be a pretty fat nade. Does a fair amount of damage to Mando. And has him abort his peak. I don't really understand what's going on here. They weren't really playing those angles very tightly, but it doesn't seem to matter since the T's have decided not to take any control of the B side of the map, which is worrying. They should have definitely put Chris up in a boost on B rather than just smoking him out, but it doesn't seem to matter. The T's finally get some entries with Jeremy and Geobreaker chiming in with 2 headshots, and Maddie finding the third onto the site, clearing it out, and should allow them to get the bomb plant. Now it's all in the hands of Chris, who finds Jennifer for free, not watching down middle, leaving them in.
Great commentating that is.
Leaving them in a 2v3. I have no idea who just joined. However, we see Jeremy does manage to reduce it to a 3v1 by taking out Chris with a clean headshot, leaving just Pre trying to clutch up this round. But it's not a hugely important round to clutch, but it does mean a lot to the T side. If they can get 5 rounds on the board, this game starts to look very playable.
Right then, who's joined?
Yeah, I can't tab at all. But it looks like the T side decided to tab out as they just don't pay any attention to Pre holding there for some exit frags. Finds one and will do a little bit of important damage to that T side economy. They really needed that rifle on Maddie to have a full buy this round.
You're not getting any analysis. I ain't got a clue what's going on.
I'm not asking you for analysis. Jesus. Why would I ask you? Whatever. If you, I'm go for it if you feel like it. But yeah, as I said, the T side have a pretty weak buy. There's a lack of utility on a couple of the players, though Matty isn't one to use utility, and does it even matter if you're getting shots like that down mid? Jeremy finding the opening kill onto George, finally making use of the AWP that they've been deprived of the entire half. And Matty is finally wised up to the angles, spamming Masha through the smoke, doesn't even need to, but Chris catches the edge of the AK. Mando's not aware of it. Holds a nade, backs up, and gets taken out. Now, the T-side decides to slow down a little bit. They have brackets control, which means they're most likely going to posture towards an A-take. It will be pretty important for the CTs to try and cheat a player over. But speaking of players they lose, that was terrible. That was terrible, but they do lose another one, geo-finding Masher and opening the side up with only McDaddy standing guard. And he finds Jennifer, and can he go for any more? Pre misses the timing, just barely, but Jeremy repicks, but doesn't repeat clearly enough to see all the way down mid, giving a free shot and evening it up, but the T's finally have the bomb down. Low HP on Geobreaker, however, does leave him very vulnerable. As Chris just decides to walk through a smoke. Not the wisest idea, you don't actually get to see through those, but Pre is there, and he gets the no-scope through the box to clear up the round and finish this half out 10-5. A very, very convincing half for the CTs.
Is it over yet or not?
The first half is over.
Oof.
We have more rounds. We have between 6 and I guess 15 left if they decide. More if they decide to play.
The tampon tax has been abolished today.
Has it? That's a good thing, really, isn't it? That seems like a necessity. It shouldn't really be taxed.
I don't know. What is it? I didn't even realise they were taxed before today.
No, it's not really our area of expertise. But then again, neither is Counter-Strike for you. But here you are, providing your witty commentary, or at least that's what you're claiming. As the T's kind of seem to be lacking a bit of an identity. They seem to be rushing banana and mid at the same time on a pistol round, where really you want to play relatively packed up, but it seems to have worked as they've drawn 2 rotations off of B onto the A site, and if they play fast, they will catch Mando all alone, requiring him to go big or lose the entire round, as Jennifer decides to overstep and is killed by McDaddy in a clean 1v1. It seems like the T side were a little bit too slow, so the CT started rotating back over, but it doesn't even matter. They clear out the player at the back of the site without even a gunfight. And now it's all on Maddie and Geobreaker. Just Geobreaker to try and clutch out this round. He gets 2, but he isn't expecting the last one from the Coffin's position. Almost a very clean clutch, but is shut out by Masher, giving the T's the 11th round on the board and setting them up for success in this half. So, are you going to contest my my initial statement that Masher was one of the players to watch this game anymore? Okay. It appears he's pissed off. Wonderful. At least I assume so. I should probably check. I can probably do so on my phone, actually, if I don't drop it. As the T's have a pretty solid buy against the USPSs of the CT side. They dove for the Astralis stack, but it just doesn't matter. Maddie finally slips away to the back of the site, but, you know, it's inevitable. Gets dunked out. But it just doesn't matter at this point. The round is very much over. And I'm just checking who is where. I have no idea what's going on at the moment. I think somebody's still in this channel, but it's certainly not Mr. Foulds.
Yeah, hello.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, just listening to you commentating.
Yeah. So good. I just wasn't expecting my well, I was expecting him to just vanish without saying anything. He's like that, but could have done better. Either.
Good.
No, it's not great, but it's what I expect. Either way.
Shit. That's good to have low disappointment.
Now we now have one of the admins in the Discord server threatening anyone who uses an AWP that they'll just get banned, which is a lovely abuse of power. We love to see it. That's what these 10-mans are all about.
Wait, who uses alts?
George is one of the AWPers. He's one of the big AWPers, certainly.
Oh shit. Okay. Wait, is George a girl or a guy?
He's a guy. He's called George.
Oh, I looked at his role. It says ego.
Oh yes. Don't trust the roles in Discord as a rule, and you shouldn't trust the site if you've not cleared out every spot in it, and that almost comes to bite the T's as they didn't clear out the back site, but a nice little bit of shooting there manages to protect the bomb plant. Good timing from Jennifer, but gets flashed and isn't able to kill the bomb planter before they can recover. As it's now just Geo is finally traded out by the USPS George, but had an opportunity there to try and clutch up. And we really are looking for some sort of big clutch plays from the CTs now to try and drag them back into this game. It's going to be a weak buy if they choose to go for it. And it looks like they will be going for it. I don't know if I had auto director on the whole time. I really hope I did. I can kind of zone out a little bit, actually. But the T's seem to be going for a banana rush, and it's a good round to do it, as they've cheated 4 players over to the A site on the CT side. So if they can play quickly enough, they might be able to swarm the site before Maddie QP gets into position, but it doesn't look they will be. They have smoked him out, but he is going to go for the jump pick with the scout. Tagged down and misses, unfortunately, but will be looking to push through the site as the CT defenders find the first and get traded out. Maddie gets second, but also falls, leaving just 2 CTs trying to hold on. However, the CTs have managed to find the bomb. It was carelessly left at the bottom of Banana, and now they both have 5.7s. It's a good weapon to try and play these close angles, but Geobreaker looks like he wants to take a long one. Is going to be baiting for Jennifer, who is in the perfect position, but is cleared out immediately by Masha, and now it's just Jeff. Actually finds the first, and a good tag onto Masha. Just a little bit of HP. This could go either way. Is going to spam through the smoke, but doesn't quite connect. And we'll see now, as the 1v1 commences, who has the bigger brain. And it looks like if Jeff pulls out his pistol, he might have it. Does he hear Masha? Yes, he does. Does she expect him to be there? No, and he finds the clutch, something they absolutely needed at the 11th hour. Masha deciding to get a bit too big brain for her own good there. Trying to switch the sights up while Jeff was doing a full rotation. When the plant was completely safe. You got to be careful about overthinking in these situations, but it shouldn't matter hugely, as there is still a very comfortable lead for the T side, but it's nice to see a little bit of life still in the CTs. They finally managed to box the CTs in a little at the start of the round. They've struggled to make any progress so far down Banana, and they don't have any movements towards brackets control. Early resmoke on that mid position, I think that's a little bit of a waste of utility, as it doesn't really apply. It doesn't give you any information into mid, but you don't need information if you're just going to shoot them through smoke, as Geobreaker appears to have really suddenly turned on. Must have caught him just through the edge of the smoke, and I forgot to turn auto director on, which is why we missed that opening kill on the B site from the scout, and a second one from Masha, a third from MacDaddy, clearing out the site completely. And this is going to be a very difficult retake, but we have seen them pull it off just a moment ago. This time, however, there's no careless loss of the bomb from the T side, so they're really going to have to retake instead of having the T's push into them. And we'll see if they have the chops to do it. Double smoked out on CT. And the AWP's just going to stay there while Geobreaker tries to work around the edge. The AWP finds the first frag, and then it looks like they're going to... They feel like the clock's run down a little bit too much. They're going to conserve their rifles, but George is ready and waiting for them. Only has a Deagle, but has a Zeus as well, and he upgrades to a rifle. Might even manage to take away the final gun, which would have been the death knell for the CTs if they lost that up there. As it is, they will be able to bring it forward into the next round, and that maybe, just maybe, gives them a hope of clawing back a little bit of momentum in this game if Jeremy can go absolutely nuclear with that AWP in the coming round. But if I was the CTs, I'd be quite confident right now. I'd certainly be... I wouldn't be sweating the details too much. It doesn't seem like they are. One of them is so relaxed he's not even left the spawn yet. Perhaps it's a mistake, as Jeremy does start the round off with a clean kill down mid, but over aggression from the B site hold leads to a double kill with no trades. And another retake situation. We were here just not even 60 seconds ago. We were here in this same situation. The only difference is this time Jennifer is alive as well, but the Zeus of George strikes again. He's getting a little bit cheeky now, really feeling this game. And my god, what a headshot through smoke. What a headshot. It's almost illegal how clean that was. Just Jeff maybe overstepping a mark. Very much so. Actually loses them the AWP, going into a slew of match point rounds. 15-6. It's going to be quite the hill to climb for the CTs to even think about making it to overtime. And so it's time to see what they have left. What they have left in the tank that they've been holding back for the whole game. So let's see if they can make anything happen. We do have an interesting buy. We have a Mag 7 coming out of Maddie QP, and if they go for a fast play down banana, this could come in very handy. Is he going to peek out? No, he's not. He's going to wait for them, and he's going to whiff the first shot, and that leads to another double opening on the B site. This hold is collapsing round after round, and a little bit of careless aggression from Geobreaker in the Abs position. Finds 2 headshots but doesn't get the second kill. A little bit unlucky with the damage fall off on the Deagle there, as he is traded out. Jeremy, why is Auto Director so awful? It's a good question, but there were a few nice kills in the brackets area. And now it's Jennifer in a 1v3 for the round. Has had a very quiet game, but this might be the moment she steps up for her team. Or we might just be looking at the end of the game, as Masha peeks in, decides to give her a fighting chance and doesn't just execute her on the spot. And leaving her in a 1v2, the clock is running down and there is no kit. This is looking more and more dire as the game ends with yet another Zeus from George. 16-6.